Hi guys, my name is Mr. Wood and I teach political science and electives at UCU, and I got an elective for you. I love Chicago, I love Detroit, and so will you. Let me tell you about it. Okay, I grew up right between the two, in between Chicago and Detroit in Kalamazoo, Michigan, a couple 100 kilometers from each site. Both cities had a huge impact on my life. Detroit was the center of the car industry. And in 1920, the Model T was produced in Detroit and brought growth and economic power to the city. It also brought Eastern Europeans. It brought Ukrainians. It brought Poles. In fact, a ton of Ukrainians came to Chicago and Detroit in those time periods to get jobs in the factories, and a lot of them stayed. The auto industry grew in the United States and probably peaked in the 1960s, 50s and the 60s with beautiful cars, and Detroit just rocked. It was growing. It was the fifth biggest city in the United States. It had music. Motown came out of Detroit. Marvin Gaye and Diana Ross and the Supremes. It was a center of black culture in the United States. See, what happened is a lot of black people, a lot of black Americans came up from the Mississippi Delta during the 1940s, World War II, to work in the factories of Chicago and Detroit. And with them, they brought their music, and they brought their culture, and they brought their religion. Both cities have a large African-American population today. Detroit. And in July 1967, for 5 days, Detroit burned. Bloody urban race riots, shootings, looting. It brought all of the glitter to a halt. 43 dead, 2,000 injured. The U.S. Army is called in to keep the peace, and when the smoke has cleared, Detroit is dead. Detroit was called the murder capital of the world. White people left the city went broke, declared bankruptcy in the 90s. It was dead. It was dead and gone. And then, like Chernobyl, the flowers out of the rubble of Chernobyl, Detroit resurrected. And it is today thriving, and it is exciting, and it will be a cool study for us, a really, really cool study for us. Chicago just has a fantastic history. Chicago burned to the ground in 1871, I think it was. And what came out of it was the birth of the skyscraper. And so Chicago has this really, really beautiful skyline. Chicago's history also benefits from the great migration of black Americans from the Mississippi Delta. In Chicago, the black population brings with them blues. And electric blues is invented in Chicago. Jazz is big in Chicago. Gospel is big in Chicago. House music comes out of Chicago. Chicago has a musical history unlike any other city in the United States. But I would say that the greatest asset of both of these places, but for sure Chicago. My sister's lived there for 40 years. So I have visited and stayed on her couch for 40 years. I would say that the greatest asset of Chicago is its people. It has a wide diversity of ethnic groups, a big, big Latino population that brings its tacos and burritos and its culture to the city. It has Africans and African Americans. It has Caribbeans. It has South Americans. It has Indians and Filipinos, and one of the biggest Chinatowns in the United States. It's an exciting city of ethnic diversity, and so a really, really, really cool place just to walk the streets and feel the vibe. I love these places. I really do. I think they're cool. I think you're going to find that they're pretty cool too. So consider joining me for a study of past and present, of food and future, of music and art and sports and life in two great American cities, Chicago and Detroit. See you soon. Ciao.